Off Track, episode 33. It's a pretty big number. We made it. We're here with the boys, the usual, Mr. Dukeman Wong, Mr. Pizza Man, Lucas, and we have very, very special guest today. He's an absolute enigma in the fixed gear world, the veteran of veterans to the highest degree, co-owner of Mr. Rough Bike Co. It's Matt Spencer, aka Wolfdrawn.
Oh, woo, woo, woo,
Make some noise. Woo, 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 woo. Matt, thank you.
What up?
Thank you for being on the show. You're probably one of the most highly requested guests of all time that we get, and like it's kind of inevitable at this point that you were to come on because we hang out all the time and see you all the time. Mm-hmm. Thanks for coming on. I want to kind of hand it off to you. For somebody who doesn't know who Mr. Wolfdrawn or Matt Spencer is, how would you describe yourself and your relationship with fixed gear?
I mean, I'm just a biker. Like, I don't think it's like fixed specific that I love. Maybe that's like what got me starting, but I just love biking. 2 wheels, handlebars. It's a go for me.
That's it. Bikes make him happy. And maybe cold beers too?
Cold beers. Close second.
How do I describe Matt? Matt has probably the most amount of accolades in the fixed gear world. He's been riding since its early beginnings, been involved in so many full-length projects, starring in them and creating them. Created Rough Bike Co. with Jacob Ruff.
He was in a music video once. It's pretty cool.
The star of a 30 Seconds to Mars music video.
Mm-hmm. Probably one of the people that has made like the most edits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's up there. He also
fixed gear freestyle.
He also goes the fastest out of everything.
He does ride really fast. He jumps really far too, which I feel like is kind of sick for FGFS stuff. Like you don't really get the like distance jump.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the people that makes riding transition in the worst fucking spots on planet Earth look really easy.
Yeah, it's
and then he shows up with you and he's like, dude, do something sick on it. And you're like looking at it and you're like, dude, I'm about to go home. I'm about to get back in my car and go home. This is fucking stupid.
Yeah, I don't touch any of the spots or any of some of the things Matt touches himself, gap-wise and sketchy-wise. Let's start from the very, very beginning.
All right.
We've had Corey on the show. We've had Congo on the show. So we've gotten hints of your past through them, but I want to hear it from you. Also, have you ever had like a sit down interview in like the fixed gear space or in general?
No, this is probably one of the first talking online ever.
Damn, that's so insane. I remember there was like a little one of you talking, I think, to the owner of like Fixed Gear China Network in Arizona.
But I don't even. Fixed Gear China?
Yeah. I think his name was like Kai, and he went out to Arizona to film like Prickly Jam.
I do remember that.
But aside from that, that was really quick. That was only like a few minutes. But I'm stoked to get you on here. Let's hear about your fixed gear humble beginnings, or maybe even before that, your biking background in general, because I know that you have motocross background. But talk about that a little bit and like how and where you grew up.
For sure. I grew up in like the Central Valley of California, so it's like about an hour and a half south of Sacramento, just farmland, like 600 population town. But I dirt biked, like raced fully from when I was 3 till I was about 18. And then I went to college instead of pursuing that. And I went about a year. And I was just like really fucking bored. And so I was gonna get a road bike because people had road bikes, And I was like, I don't fucking know. And I was on Craigslist looking for a road bike, but like a budget one, obviously. And then on Craigslist, there was this simple bike that popped up. And I was like, this is pretty sick. And it happened to actually be like new from this shop was called Drift LA, and they did like a lot of just straight Japanese imports and stuff, but they had like a few like complete starter bikes, and it was, I mean, I had no clue at the time, but it was a Brassknuckle.
Damn.
It was EAI Brassknuckle.
Cool.
I don't even know what kind. Like it was like, I don't know if you guys ever remember that brand Power Tools. So it was like all Power Tools parts, which were like pretty cheap, but also kind of cool, like kind of BMXy. So it was just that gray Brassknuckle with all black parts and risers, and I was like, it was like I think maybe like $400 or $500 complete.
That's a
Which was
steal.
like insane, you know? And I was like, that was about my budget that I wanted for a road bike, and this looked way sicker and new. So I was like, fuck it. And I like went and bought it. And that was my first fixed gear, just by like accident. I didn't even know what a fixed gear was. So like when I first rode it, I like had no concept of like what a fixed gear was.
So
I'd never seen one, I don't think. If I did, I didn't know what it was, and I had never ridden one.
So when you got on it and it didn't coast, were you like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, hell yeah. And then like, you know, like I had no clue. I just was like, I was probably wearing some like really hipster like Oxfords. My feet definitely were not in the straps. And then I think I just rode it around and got good at it.
After before that, when you kind of like quit motocross, like what made you want to completely just quit? You're just over it?
I mean, when you turn 16, like you can turn professional, which I did, and then it just like, I mean, I'd been doing it my whole entire life. So I kind of got burnt out, and I was at the age where like, I don't know, like it just like wasn't, I didn't have any like heart in it, and it's like 150% of your life, you know, like it's like, you're like an athlete. So like, I don't know, I just didn't have it in me anymore, and just like circumstances, and it's really expensive.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I had sponsors, so like I really wasn't paying for anything, but still it's like, it was just like, I don't know, I did it and that was it. I felt like I retired. I never raced again after that.
Yeah. So you kind of just, it ran its course in your life.
Yeah, I had a day like where I chose to like stop, kind of thing. It wasn't like I sputtered out. It was like I was going full blown, and then I made a decision. I was just like, I'm gonna move away from this town.
Had it cold turkey. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
The town I was in, like if you stayed, not great opportunities, and you know, a lot of like people going to prison, drugs, and these things, you know. So
Yeah. Okay.
definitely added into it. Like I wasn't like in that scene, but I would just like have older friends who were just like that happening to them, and it definitely was a persuasion.
So
it's crazy. Just to
escaped.
double back though, like you probably had the best starting bike out of everybody.
Oh,
Do you
it's
have
crazy.
like
Yeah.
do you have like a time frame of reference for all this stuff? Because like for me, it's like you're talking about a bike that when I started, I'm assuming like 6 to 7 years later, was still considered like top of the line.
Mhm.
And to start on that is like kind of crazy.
Yeah, I got it probably like mid 2008.
That's insane.
Yeah. Probably like mid 2008. I got it. And yeah, it's that bike was sick because it was like small tubing aluminum, which is really rare. So it was not rigid at all for aluminum frame. Yeah, it was a sick fucking build. And it was so light.
Do you have clips on this bike?
No. I think I could probably find like a 60 pixel video of me riding like the CSULB like fucking parking garage. There used to be like MySpace. There used to be clips on MySpace and photos, but they deleted them all. So they don't exist anymore. But I could find like, there are like a few Facebook videos that I could possibly pick through.
What happened to that bike? Do you know what happened to it?
I ended up selling it to our friend Jeremy C, and he was friends with this other dude, Dalton, who also rode Long Beach scene. And I think eventually, like when I was riding it, like maybe I could 180, but like could like maybe barely fakie, you know? So like I wasn't going hard on it. And I think he was like came from a BMX background, so he eventually broke it somehow, you know? But I think it did last a while. Like it lasted a while.
So like were you like you said you didn't see fixed gear before you bought this bike? Like did you find out about doing tricks? Like how did the transition between I'm buying a road bike to I'm doing tricks on this bike? Like how long, it's like how long did that take you?
Like I bought it and I was riding around and I mean I don't even think I was like looking up fixed gear or anything on YouTube at this point, you know? I think I initially learned how to wheelie it because I could kind of wheelie a bicycle before. Like I never like BMX'd or anything, but like for biking, I knew where the wheelie point was. It was somewhere, you know? I learned how to wheelie it pretty good. And then that was the only trick. Like I didn't even know you could do like a bar spin or like anything like that while wheeling. And then I found eventually I knew two kids that were from like San Francisco and they had like some conversions. And so like we just started riding together and we started this, ended up like the first ride, I think there was like 11 of us and it was called Wildlife. It was the first Cal State Long Beach fixed gear ride ever.
Holy shit.
And
so crazy.
Eventually, like I think by the end, we would start at like 10:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. And I think by the end, like after like a few years, like it was like 100 people.
Damn.
It was insane. It was I have a photo of it. We would meet in front of the pyramid and it was absolutely insane.
Whoa.
That's how I met Justin for the first time too. He came to one of our rides.
It's kind of crazy that there were that many people riding fixed gears at Cal State.
Well, it was like they were all coming from Orange County.
Oh.
It
was like everyone. Like even I knew about these rides and like I remember like having to ask permission from my parents to go on a ride and they're like, "What time is this thing finishing?" And I'm like, "It starts at 10:30 p.m."
Yeah, like on a
and then it's
day.
Like
but within that like first year period is when fixed gear like really blew up. So it wasn't like, you know, people came out of the woodwork just buying bikes. It was a crazy.
I feel like people were craving just any kind of event that was happening. Everybody went to also at that point, just any kind of ride or get together. It was just an excuse to get a bunch of people together.
Sure. And it was like pre-social media. So we were just like on forums. So like you just found something you liked and then you did that like very core.
Yeah.
So Congo was the first person out of all, like, I guess the riders, like everybody watching and us would know that you met?
Yeah, I met Congo. Probably beginning of 2009, maybe 2008 still. Because it wasn't long after I got my fixed gear. And then I'm trying to think of like who else. Like I probably met, I don't know if I met Marwin or Corey probably about the same time, but I was working at CBS and Corey messaged me on Facebook. Oh no, I probably met Marwin first because he just rode forever. He probably the most underrated Long Beach rider.
Definitely.
There's just a lot of footage, but he was so good.
Agreed.
And then Corey came to my work when I was working at CBS, and on my lunch break, I sold him a DMR fork in like, I don't know, 2009 or something.
Damn.
Yeah, and that was the first time I ever met Corey.
Wow.
DMR. And I think he was in high school. He was like still in high school.
Where did you get a DMR fork in 2009?
I don't know. And it was a sick one. It was that crazy teal one that was fucking massive. But I found one that didn't have a disc brake gusset.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying is
it was for brakeless. It was like a rare fork to buy. But it was like the same weight as my frame. It was absolutely absurd.
Holy shit.
No, I remember that fork because it could clear like a 2.5, like a 2.5 plus tire. It was like the yoke on the fork was so big.
Well,
and then
I initially bought it, and then I was like, this is so stupid. So instead of using it with my 700, I just bought a 650B instead. But I don't even know if I ever used that fork. I think I bought it, and then Corey ended up using it for a long time.
You had a 650B, not a 650C?
See, I don't know. It was smaller. It was smaller. Like I have no. It was definitely like a road. It was like a road bike front wheel. It was like from a road bike. It was not like it had like a quick release.
Oh, nice.
Damn. I don't know what it was.
What was
too good? Didn't care.
What was your first exposure into like the greater scene? Like, what was the first piece of content you watched?
Probably Sam Miller, because he was just the first person online, like that I knew of, and it didn't even. I was just like, this is crazy. Like I wasn't even like that impressed because it was nothing like I was doing.
Right.
It was like so far away from what I was doing. Like I don't think I was impressed until like years later how crazy it was. I was just like, I don't know. He's riding around a wall.
I felt the same exact way the first time I watched Sam Miller.
And I'm like, I'm trying to do pop-up bar spins, and he's 360 down a stair set and doing a curve wall ride. It just didn't translate, I was just like, oh, that's cool. I thought it was really cool, but I wasn't like trying to do anything like he was gonna do.
And then what kind of made you want to push for like more tricks than a wheelie? Was it just a natural progression because you're like a guy who does tricks on things?
Yeah, just bored. Yeah, definitely just like I mean, it was all like really new to me, so I never like BMX, so I never really like transferred skills I had besides like dirt biking, but like I don't know if I ever even like rode a skate park before. Fixed gear was pretty much my first like skate park experience.
Holy shit.
Like I was like a core dirt biker, so I didn't really do anything else. Like I had a bicycle, but like
nice. Never skated even or anything.
I never skated. Never like took my bike to a skate park. There wasn't like a skate park where I lived or nothing. So.
And then at some point, I mean, you obviously started taking it like a little bit more seriously and started filming videos. What made you want to start filming videos, and were you like into film at the time? Like, what were you going to Cal State Long Beach for?
Like, I mean, I changed my major like a million times. I did like computer engineering, computer science, graphic design, kind of did it all. But I just had like a little digicam that I eventually bought, just like cheap little thing. And like some of my first, like all my first Vimeo edits are all filmed on that. So like pretty much like all of those ones that look old are just like a early 2000s digicam that I would just like set on a ledge or something. But like, yeah, all of those, I don't know. I think I was definitely riding for a while before there's like any footage. Cause I don't know. I wasn't even, I didn't skateboards. I never had like any mentality of like filming shit. And even dirt biking, you didn't film stuff back in my day, really. It wasn't a thing,
Yeah. You can't like, you're not getting like dirt bike clips.
I mean, no, like, I have a few old VHS random videos that my dad kind of randomly took, but like there was nowhere to watch them,
Yeah.
So all right, you introduced us to the cast of characters and how you met everybody.
I mean,
let's
Justin,
push forward.
Fixing, on those rides. I mean, I met like Fixed Gear Freestyle guys. It's like probably in like 2010 is when that kind of started. Pre that, like I was really core like biking, but like it was like more like I was doing tricks, but like on a track bike. Like I had a Vivalo, full NJS. I had G-Track Pro.
Oh wow! You had track bikes.
Yeah, I had track bikes. I mean, I was biking like all the fucking time,
Mm-hmm.
Like still doing like wheelies and same shit on those bikes. But I definitely probably met Marwin and Justin. They were like the two more like core Long Beach riders. Like it was us three were the first ones on city grounds to ride for city grounds. Like when city grounds opened, like I don't think like the fixed gear scene would have been what it was without that. Just because it made like a hub for everyone to meet at, and every day I would just go there and like one of my friends would be there.
Yeah,
it was really sick.
It was key. I feel like that's almost what like a lot of places are missing now, is just like a meeting hub.
Yeah. But also, you know, I was like fucking like 19, 20. It's just different.
I'm not saying you do it now. I'm just saying for like the scene as a whole.
Yeah. But I think there were more bikers then.
As a whole, yeah.
You know, well, maybe the Wheelie Boy kids are probably meeting somewhere. No.
Yeah, under bridges.
Yeah.
Also, they're all turned to like moto. They're all turned to e-bikes.
Well, you're in Orange County, so not up here.
Not obtainable yet.
Yeah. Well, actually, the refunds might be coming soon. You never know. They might be.
I see Surons everywhere.
No, when the Suron appears on the AliExpress thing and it's actually good, that's when we'll see it. When I can buy it on AliExpress for $1,000, it's over.
Yeah, these kids got fucking money here. Origin of Wolftron. How long have you been known as Wolftron, and where'd it come from?
Twitter was the first social media you had to like pick a username. And I was listening to this song by this like, it's kind of like trip hoppy, because that's what I was into a little bit at the time, and it was Emancipator, and the song was Wolftron. I don't love the song. It was not one of my favorite songs at all. It was just like I was listening to it while Twitter was asking me what to put my username. I don't even know what that was, you know? And I was like, I don't know. And I just put that. Like, there was zero thought into this. Like, zero thought. And then Twitter was like the only thing forever. So, like, you know, it just was there. You know, I had no thought. There was
so many people just lost their bet on that you were a closeted furry. They're probably disappointed.
So
Matt's entire existence is an accident.
Sure. Yeah.
Wait, this could all be a lie. He could actually be a furry, and this just isn't where he wants to come out. You never know. When the full moon strikes, you know.
That's why the Rough Bike Co. is like a dog centered.
That's what I'm saying.
Brand.
It's all lining up, dude. That's what I had my money on, and I didn't get the answer I was looking for.
Let's push forward.
The full edit.
Let's push forward just a little bit. What do you think was your first like? How do I explain it? Like the first time that you went a little bit, or you became known in the like greater scene. Like, was it a certain video? Was it Death Pedal 2? What do you think that point was where like people started to notice you?
I think City Grounds was my first sponsor. And I think just being sponsored by City Grounds, like, definitely, like, solidified me, Congo, and Marwin into the scene. Like, we were the fucking shit in Long Beach. Like, when it came to tricks, like, it was, like, there was no question to that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
but
that.
I think around that same time, there was this contest in downtown Long Beach where it's Cherry Park before the skate park and all that, and it was called, like, Downtown Showdown. Yeah. So they had an alley cat and then a trick contest. And I won the alley cat and then had 5 minutes, and then I did my trick run and won the fucking trick contest too. So I won both. It's the only time I've ever done that. And I swept Downtown Showdown, and that was also the first time Boothby and Jacob Santos, I ever met them. They came down because it was kind of like early, like people kind of knew things, and there wasn't like a lot of contests. So that was like people.
Yeah.
So they came, and I don't know if they stayed with me, but it came over, and so I won that, and I feel like that was like my first big win. I was like stoked on.
That contest had a lot of big names. You, Boothby, Jake Santos, Congo. Taylor Dwight was there.
I think that was like the first big, like, wasn't the first like contest, but it was like the first legit like names in fixed gear freestyle.
Was that after Midwest Mayhem 1 or before?
I don't know because I just didn't go to. It was in 2010, so I don't know.
Right. Did you know about Midwest Mayhem 1?
Yeah, but there was no way I didn't know really anyone that was going. And just had no clue. I was like, that's far, you know?
Yeah, it just wasn't like even a thought at the time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
or you know what it was is I went to the first bicycle film festival in New York in 2010, and I think that was my first like trip. First time ever on the East Coast. First bike trip. And that was like first time I met like pretty much the whole freestyle scene. Like Jacob Ruff, Tyler, like honestly everyone, including the New York guys.
Everyone was there. Did you have any like I don't know, memorable impressions of people, like any funny thoughts or stories from that first time meeting everyone?
I mean, we were all just like really wild and dumb. You know, Fonseca was out there, which he is like the most insane person ever. So it was like, there was like not 1 second of like calm. It was just like insane all the time with like that many people, which was like, you know, really fun at the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Was that before or after? I think it was after filming for Revoked.
When did Revoke come out? Do you know?
2009. Or that's
okay. Then yeah, because I had known Fonseca, so yeah, that was like probably right after.
City Grounds, you, Marwin, Congo, Corey. You took over the City Grounds Vimeo at one point, right?
Yeah, I was blogging and creating content. I was getting paid. That was my first.
Damn. Were you the first Fixie rider to get paid for this content?
Dang.
Fixie money.
Well, $500 a month. I was like,
damn.
I was living hard.
Oh shit.
That's fucking sick.
And it was like it was just like videos I was already doing, but like putting the City Grounds logo and putting it on their Vimeo, which I was like, fuck it, you know?
Holy shit.
Yeah, those videos would get
$500 a month.
Those videos would get views too.
Yeah, that was like, you know, like every City Grounds put out a video, everybody watched it. It was like,
oh yeah.
Did they have any like creative control, or you just did whatever?
Oh, I was just doing whatever. Yeah.
What did they think of the black magic edit?
Oh, Paul thought we were all just fucking weird as hell, and he didn't give a shit because he was making a ton of money. So yeah.
He's like, whatever. These little satanic kids are making me money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we like City Grounds was absolutely cracking. Like they were just like pumping out super sick bikes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember going in there as a kid, like super young, and like staring at the wall, and you're just like looking at the price tag. It said $5,000, and you're just like, "Oh my god, that'd be so cool!" And then
I used to go into the shop because they had a Costa Mesa shop too. I used to go into that one, and I would see the Gorilla Kilroy on the wall, $900.
I think we didn't have one at Long Beach, but the Costa Mesa one did.
I think they had Leader Shadows on the wall too, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
That was pretty cool. It's kind of nuts to think about going into a shop and just seeing a bunch of those old frames in hindsight.
Yeah.
Did you?
J-Ball, I bought my P-Fix right off the wall.
Sick.
Took it apart and put it in my backpack and rode home.
Yep.
And then bent the fork.
And then bent the fork in like 3 days.
Taking my dad into the City Grounds and just looking at him while I'm staring at a pair of red Shuckers, like the complete build, just looking at him and be like, "Hey, Dad, can you? I think I just broke my wheels. Can you hook me up?"
The rim wall was sick,
dude.
I had to go. I wanted to get one of the like new resist hubs, and the Costa Mesa store didn't have any in silver or slotted, so I had to drive over to Long Beach and buy one. The good memories. So you had after your Brassknuckle, I mean, you said you had a few track bikes, but then you got a cutter at some point, right?
Yeah, probably Brassknuckle, and then think my next bike was the brown cutter.
Oh yeah, you had a brown cutter too, because you also had the raw one, right?
I don't know. Yeah, oh wait. I don't know which one came first, the raw or the brown.
I don't know either. I think raw might have came first.
I think the raw came first, that was a really nice build. And then
Why'd you go from cutter to cutter? Did you break the raw one or something?
I don't know why I got a brown cutter.
I
didn't like that. I didn't like the color. No, I didn't even like that frame color. I don't know if I like broke it or what. I don't know why.
Hard to remember
really
after all this time. Then you got a Thrasher. You got a blue Thrasher for a little bit.
And I had the marble Thrasher, which I liked that build a lot.
Yeah, that was a sick looking bike. I think people today would enjoy that bike a lot, like that specific type of build.
I had those crazy weird Kenda tires that I like bought off like some weird website that like I don't even know how they were like 55C, which was like huge. Like at the time. Yeah. They were sick.
Massive.
They were like kind of street. Yeah.
And
so
then,
I had that.
Then a Mordecai.
And then I went I did have the
TRK.
The TRK for like 3 weeks because they didn't have a Mordecai in my size or something yet. TRK was so bad the bearings just slipped in and out of the shell. Like it was like, and I'm not talking like it was like 3 millimeters off. Like not like a half a millimeter. Like it was like 3 millimeters. Like the bearings were held in by my cranks.
What the fuck?
If my cranks weren't in, the bearings weren't in. Yeah, so that was that bike sucked. And then Mordecai though, probably my favorite 700C bike.
Dude, you made that. It looks so good.
It was so light, and I was running P35s with the resist tires. My bike was like, I don't know, it felt like it was 20 pounds. Like it was so light, and I loved the bottom bracket drop on that bike. It was nice. It was by far my favorite 700C bike.
Yeah, that was a good looking bike. You had the bigger one, the gray one, I think, and then you had the black, smaller one, right?
Yeah, I think that was the same scenario. I was like, I want the small one. They're like, well, we have a medium one. And I was like, no. And then they sent me the medium one. And I was like, well, I didn't like it. It's too big.
How do they not have their frame in size small in stock?
Well, I just think, Lita was selling shit fast, you know? I don't know. I really
J-Ball, it's the opposite of bomb tracking you.
Well, it's kind of the same. No, I had a similar problem with Bomb Track. They just didn't have any. Oh wait, no, opposite because they just didn't have any in stock.
They just didn't have any to give you.
So yeah, I had the Mordecai. I love that thing.
Well, how'd you get hooked up with Leader? Who hit you up? How'd that connection happen?
So in 2010, I was familiar with sending sponsor resumes as a kid for dirt biking. So I sent probably 30 or 40 sponsor me emails.
Damn.
Which I found that I could send you the PDF of my
yes.
sponsor me.
Damn.
So like, yeah. Because I looked, my Hotmail still has it. So, and I think, so who hit me back up was Peter and Phoenix Straps.
Oh,
so sick.
Got denied by everyone else. Oh, actually, no, wait, one more. Tree Bikes.
Ooh. So they actually sponsored.
I was like, yeah. I had free sprockets and free front hubs from Tree Bikes. Yeah, I was Tree Bike sponsored.
I feel like I never saw a tree logo in any of your videos.
It was like kind of unofficial. He pretty much was like, we're not gonna post this shit, but we like what you're doing and it's cool, and we're gonna send you free shit.
That's tight.
So were you guys the reason why they made like bigger sprockets? Because I feel like
I was like talking to the owner Matt for like I was kind of telling him what he should and shouldn't do, because he was like very interested in it. I mean, anybody wants to make money, but he's like definitely like a core biker. Like he had a fixed gear, but he just didn't know what was cool, really, you know?
Yeah, because I remember they were probably the first people to do over 35, like spline drive, as in like a like a one-piece spline drive sprocket. Yeah. And I remember like when those came out, then the resist stuff came out, and it was like
there's also 1/8 inch.
Yeah, but like the tree stuff was miles ahead of the other two brands, like just with quality in general.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, I'm sure there's still people riding a tree sprocket today, and it's like good.
I got one. I got a tree sprocket. Yeah,
it was the first spline drive sprocket
ever. Yeah, like a 48 spline at least.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone made like weirder ones, but like a standard 48, it was the first one.
So Leader hit you back, and
I think some Dan Arl, one of the guys who worked there at the time, but I think it might have been like through Marcus. Probably was the one who was like, sponsor him.
Did you?
I think Tyler.
Oh yeah, Tyler
Cream and DJ Mole were on the team, like kind of freestyle wise, and then it was me. I don't know who else would have been at that point. Cone.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it was us.
Yeah, it's funny. Leader had so many big names, but I feel like none of the Leader riders ever rode with each other.
Yeah, because I mean, Cream was in Atlanta. Me and Chacon. I mean, I was a Long Beach kid. He was a West Side kid. We just, I was far away. I would see him at like big rides, like Midnight Riders or something like that. That was about it. Like I wouldn't.
So you put out sick like Leader USA edits. There was the Autumn edit, which had the Black Keys song. Great fucking video. That video almost single-handedly got me into fixed gear freestyle.
That's sick.
It was like that and Death Pedal 2 trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put out that Leader USA video with the I can't remember what the song was, but it was Open Head, I think.
Oh, yeah. I forget what band that is.
Anyway.
That's one of my favorite edits though, like bike wise. Like, like of the early days, that was my favorite edit.
There were so many big gaps and like cool. You were playing with a lot of pegless stuff early.
Yeah.
Like, and at this time too, you were diehard 700C.
Mm-hmm.
And once people started going to 26, what made you kind of be like, no, that's kind of whack. I'm going to stick to this.
Bikes just look so fucking stupid at the time. Like, the 26 bikes look so stupid. Like nothing was made for it. It would just look like a giant bike with little wheels, like nothing was proportionate. And so like there was not a good looking 26-inch bike. It just wasn't, like
so
like,
there were good looking 700 bikes.
There was like, I feel like at that time, like people were getting close to like, it was still like a pretty low drop for today's standards, but like, which honestly rode really well because 700C is so fucking huge that like, not having a negative drop is really nice to ride.
Dude, bottom bracket drop with 700C, it's like you get more pop.
Oh yeah, your center of gravity is low. It's better. Like it's like, and the Mordecai was pretty low. Like it was much lower than like the Thrasher, which is why I think the Mordecai just ran so much better. And I never bent one frame.
No way.
The one I rode was the one I had the entire time. Never broke it, never bent it.
What the fuck?
Wow.
What did you do with the bigger one?
I had to send it back.
Oh, I see.
Leader wasn't gonna give me that.
They weren't like that.
I think I signed a contract with Leader too.
Whoa, were you getting paid?
No, absolutely not.
There's a
I don't remember what
contract.
the contract was, but I remember when I went down there and I did that one photo shoot where I'm like wearing like a suit, like a tie.
You have a headband?
It ended up being like on a banner, like at Interbike, and I had to sign something. It was probably just more like, can't badmouth us,
Yeah.
whatever.
Signing his rights away.
For,
It was
for free product.
for free. Yeah.
They never paid you any money.
No, but I did get flown out to Indonesia, but they didn't pay for it. Let's be clear. They didn't pay for it. The people in Indonesia paid for it. This like bike company or bike shop.
Is it Rocket or something?
Yeah, Rocket. Me, Chacon, and Terrence.
Yeah.
Heavy pedal.
Did you like? I feel like I didn't see much footage from that trip because
We didn't ride our bikes. Literally, like we rode our bikes one evening, like our own bikes that we flew out there, and then the rest of the time they were just having us ride these like $10,000 like hang on the wall bikes that like I didn't want to ride because I was like, this is like some crazy campy fucking bike, and they were like, just fucking ride it. We don't care. They were rich.
Oh,
So
damn.
it was they were like above the law rich in Indonesia. It was a crazy trip.
What the fuck? Anything you can share further from that trip? What was
So like we did 5 days in Jakarta, which is the capital. Very crazy. Definitely there's quite a few things I can't share that happened.
It's a good story.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Emmy Brown.
Yeah.
So he was on it, and he was a character, and we flew to Bali for another 5 days, and one night, I had maybe smoked weed like once in my life before this, but they're like, you got to do mushrooms. It's like what we do here.
What?
And I'm like, nah. And like me and Chacon had never done it, but Terrence was like quite a bit older than us, and he was like very skilled in taking mushrooms from back in his day. And he was like, just do it, it'll be fun. And then me and Chacon were like, well, I'll do it if you do it type thing. And then we did it and got so high, ridiculously high, which was really funny. And then at one point, this is the funniest part, was at one point we're playing like funny iPhone, or he had an iPad, and we're playing like iPad games, and I'm holding the iPad like playing this game, and his parents start FaceTiming him, and like and this is like 3 a.m. our time, but like normal time their time. Me and Terrence like, just don't answer, and he goes, and then he goes like, if we don't answer, they're gonna know I'm on drugs. He just instantly answers while I'm holding it.
Oh my god!
It's like it must have been like the house computer set up, like pointing towards like a couch with like his mom, his dad, his siblings, like his grandparents. It was like 8 people, and then I'm holding this iPad with just me and Chacon sitting there, like high out of my mind on mushrooms, trying to like hold it like together. And all I remember is they kept asking if we were like okay, and we were just like, you know, and then like when we finally got off, he goes, they definitely didn't know, and I was like, they totally knew. Like that was the funniest part.
You entered the Chacon family reunion on the high iPad.
Oh yes,
that's insane.
It was really funny. That was a highlight of the Bali trip. So
no
riding. Just
we didn't even bring our bikes to Bali, and then like in Jakarta, like we did have to pay. So Chacon didn't get the right visitor's visa, and so when we went to leave, they were like, "You can't leave. You got to get your right one." And it was like on the weekend, and he couldn't go to the place till like Monday or Tuesday.
Oh shit!
And we're like, "Fuck!" So like we ended up like calling the Rocket guys, and then the Rocket guy was just like, put me on the phone with him.
Whoa!
Like the border patrol, and so Terrence is like, all right, and then like they just start talking for like 5 minutes, like arguing, and then the guy just like hands the phone back to Terrence, and the guy, he's like, just start handing him money until he says it's good. And Terrence is like, are you serious? And he's like, yes. And because like, you know, you're gonna have to like, Terrence was like the TM, so he would have had to buy like 2 tickets, you know, hotel. It would have been really expensive, you know.
Yeah.
Or just handing him money, probably like, I don't know, a couple $100 USD, and the guy was just like, and then paid our way out of Indonesia.
Ter-
So that was kind of crazy.
Terrence is that was heavy pedal Terrence, right?
Yeah. Heavy pedal, and he was like working for Leader, TMing and doing various things at the time. I think pre-Map Lingo.
Oh yeah.
When did the transition occur back to volume? Like
Justin was
riding volume stuff.
Justin was riding with volume, and I think I had gotten on Resist. I think I was riding with Resist while I was on Leader.
Yeah.
And at one point, Leader was just fucking all over the place. It was like, I don't know. And I was like, it was all over the place, and volume was fucking legit. Like, it was legit, it was a BMX company. It was fucking sick. And their BMX company, volume and demo were sick at the time.
Yeah.
And I think I talked to Brian. I was like, do you want to ride one of our frames? I was like, fuck yeah. And I just emailed Peter, and I was like, see ya. Like, in a very nice way, but they weren't really doing anything for me.
Yeah. I mean, they were moving on with their models. Like, they gave Tyler signature model, Kareem signature model, Chacon signature model. Yeah. Do you think you could have got a signature model if you stayed on?
No, I wasn't getting nothing. So, and I was like, fuck it, I'm out. And then rode the Thrasher, which I liked. It was pretty good.
Didn't feel as good as the Mordecai, though.
Thrasher V2.
Yeah, the V2. Which, the small one was pretty good.
Couldn't bar spin.
No, it could.
I remember
you rode the Phoenix fork.
Oh.
Which I was riding.
I remember why there's a clip in Cult Clips where you do an endo by jamming the the tire against.
That was with the stock fork, yeah.
Thrasher
fork.
And
then I started riding the Phoenix fork. I think that was backwards. I was holding it backwards, right?
Yeah.
It was the flex would hit the down tube. That was funny. I rode with that, and then
you put out that sick volume farewell edit.
Yeah,
that was a sick edit.
But the only volume I put out, I don't know.
Yeah, you also had a CSK edit. It was a quick one on the volume.
So the whole time I was on volume, what was Justin riding at the time?
He LDG.
Okay, so he got off the team. I was the rider that was riding 700s, and the whole time I was on volume, we were designing a signature frame.
Oh.
And,
shit.
Yeah, I have and they were I believe they had their design team designing it. It wasn't a faux thing, that they were being yeah, we'll give you one. We were designing a frame, had the whole mock-up and everything. And then at one point they were just we're just not going to put money into fixed gear anymore.
Damn. They cut cold.
Which is crazy.
Kind of right before. And I was well, that's fucking weird, Because they were we were funding the entire company.
Yeah.
It was, it was very known, And then Colby me up. SKYLMT.
Yeah, you went to the dark side.
Yep.
Before that, though, you were invited to, in 2011, Red Bull Ride and Style.
Yes.
What was that experience like the first time?
That one was fucking awesome because that one was the Oakley was sponsoring it. We all got free Oakleys that were a couple $100. I think I ended up just giving them to my dad because they were funny, dad glasses, but they were sick. Never got free shit.
Which you would really like now.
Yeah. I'm sure my dad broke them or lost them within 2 weeks of having them. So, and then got those the sickest Red Bull bag, which I
crazy.
Wish I had that. I don't know where. I think I sold that at Fixie Factory flea market or something. But
I know the guy that has it. And he refuses to sell it to me.
Yeah.
That motherfucker.
My actual one, or
yes, yours. And nice. he bought the white one the following year after off Joe and me.
That one wasn't nearly as cool. If I'm
It was
being
spray
honest.
painted.
It was spray
Yeah.
painted. Just like it wasn't as cool. But that first year bag was cool. I remember the course being really stupid, and I wish I had just done the race because that's what looked fun.
Yeah,
the whole time.
I never saw. I mean, the first year at least. You know, you were on your black Mordecai. I didn't. There were like no clips of you tricking. What the fuck? Like, it was.
I don't know.
It bummed me out because
No, I would have been on the volume, right?
2011. No, you're still on You're still on leader.
I don't know.
And then second year, 2012, Red Bull. I think you were on SKYLMT.
SKYLMT. I think that I drove there and built the SKYLMT up there.
Oh,
It was the first time ever riding it,
damn.
which is a stupid it's very
Insane. Insane.
that was the first day ever riding it.
At Red Bull riding style.
First time ever
Wow.
riding a 26-inch bike was at Red Bull Ride.
That was your debut, though. Was that? Did you have people talking? I wasn't at that one, so
I would assume, yeah.
that would have been a big deal. That was a big deal when you switched to 26. We were like, damn, 700C Kingdom has fallen officially.
Right.
I mean, once
Right.
volume was out, I was just like, fuck it. Like, I'm not gonna ride a leader.
Yeah, there were like no more good 700 frames at that
I'm not gonna
point.
ride an LDG. Like, I think like what was it like? BB17 was the good one still.
Yeah, they had 700 Charmer and Serpent.
Yeah.
Came out. Around all this time too, the Fixie Factory was forming.
Yeah.
Talk about the formation of the original Fixie Factory.
I mean, started going to Midwest Mayhem 2, staying at Antonio's, meeting Chris, pretty much like becoming instant best friends with them. And then I think me and Corey stayed later. We stayed like a week after Midwest Mayhem 2 at Antonio's. And then I think when I left, I was like, you guys should move to California. 'Cause they were like, it was like them two really riding. There was like a handful of other people, but no one like really tricking.
Right.
And then they were just like, okay. And then like,
Easily convinced.
and then because me and Vinny unknown were already looking for a place, and like a 3-bedroom was just like way better deal, and so we just got a 3-bedroom, and Chris and Antonio moved out with their bikes in a backpack, like that. That's
Wow.
literally it. Yeah, and that was the Fixie Factory beginning.
Jeez.
So you were pretty good friends with Vinny at this time, I assume.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't end up like riding for Unknown.
I mean,
What? Say it.
The face says it all.
the quality level was really low.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
The more you knew Vinny, the more you knew the quality level was low, and like, yeah. And I didn't like how, I had tried other people's bikes. So I just didn't like it. I was definitely just not going to ride a bike if I couldn't ride it. I'd ride people's
Right.
bikes and I'd just be like, how the fuck are you riding these bikes? They feel so horrible. Like there was RYD, LDG, unknown. I'm just like, it blows my mind how some people could ride those bikes.
Yeah, I feel like you're the type also to you would rather buy a bike you like rather than get one that you don't for free.
100%. Because,
Yeah.
no question.
Even at the time. So Fixie Factory gets formed. It's you, Chris Sundet, Antonio Woth, and Vinny. And also, you just said you met them was that your first time meeting them at Midwest Mayhem?
Yeah, because I don't think they came to the BFF. Not that I recall. So I think that was the first time meeting them.
Do you have a favorite story from Midwest Mayhem 2 trip?
I mean, there's the iconic bacon photo of Corey where Soil takes Corey's bacon. You know what I'm talking about? Corey's
Of course we do.
like, really disappointed. So
He's-
like that. I feel like that's like the one that like people somehow know. It was fucked. That whole trip was so fucked. Like in Antonio's apartment, it was like I think 3/4 of the event was staying in like a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, like in Milwaukee. Like it was like everybody. I think like at one point like someone was making like Mike Dan and Sean Coates fight. Like, I think Jacob Santos.
It was
I think
Tom
like Jacob
also.
Santos and like Boothby were like holding their arms like in like
Yeah.
those dolls and like making them fight. People were pouring ketchup on each other.
Oh my
Like
God.
people were pointing like green lasers at like the like police helicopters, and then ended up getting like tickets. There was a lot going on on that trip.
Did somebody put nachos in Corey's seat post?
Yeah. And it was there for like months and months.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, he didn't know. It stunk. It would stink the Fixie Factory out. But like, and at the time we were like, it's worth a joke to not tell him, even though like it was stinking up our living room. And when he went to take it out, it was like it somehow like rusted his seat post together. That's the only reason he went to like get a new seat post and like couldn't get it out.
Oh my god, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Was that his Thrasher? Or was that All City?
Probably the Thrasher.
Whew. What other?
Man.
It feels like Corey was at the receiving end of lots of shit, especially on that trip.
Yeah.
Who do you think was bullied more? Was it Corey
I
or
don't
Mike
think that
Den?
trip, because like the whole bacon thing that was just Corey, like he just wanted the bacon. It wasn't like, and I don't even think Soil like did it on purpose. He just like ate a piece of his bacon.
That's that picture, right, where he's kind of looking like
Yeah.
looked so concerned.
Yeah, Midwest Mayhem was fun. I don't really remember much from it.
Yeah. How was the actual contest of it? Did you enjoy that course?
Yeah, four seasons is so sick, and like it's pretty good because it's kind of got like a street section and some pretty good transition that was like seeable, you know. So that was cool. That was the first time meeting like Murder B. Who else? Quite a few of the guys that were out there.
Colin Foster,
Mhm.
I assume, was there. Sam Hansen.
Yeah.
Was that your first time meeting Mr. Tom LaMarche?
I think I met Tom at BFF.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
First time like hanging out with him.
Who was your favorite out of all the guys on like that wasn't part of your regular crew on that trip?
I mean, probably Antonio, you know, like we definitely clicked.
Oh yeah, that would make sense because then you then you became roommates with them.
Like Antonio and Craig, for sure.
What was it like living with those guys or all of the people who came through the Fixie Factory at some point? Who was the worst roommate? Who was the best roommate?
I mean our actual roommates, it's crazy. I only lived there for like a year and a half. It feels like a 10-year time span in my brain. Like I think there was 10 years worth of things happened in this year and a half. Like it's absolutely insane. Like I feel like my Fixie like brain like is centered around Fixie Factory, even though it's just like a tiny blip in you know my life.
Oh damn.
Just kind of crazy.
I forget that you moved out to like Hollywood.
Yeah, but like the Fixie Factory didn't exist for more than like a year after that too.
Yeah,
Like as
It
like
really
the
was
Fixie
like only
Factory.
like
No,
it was really only
there
like 2.5 years.
It was there till
Yeah, but
2014.
Yeah, but there was like a lot of random people living there and stuff. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't.
yeah, like
It was there, but it wasn't like that first like year and a half, 2 years was like, it was really crazy. Like how many people, like every day, there was never like our couches were slept on every single night.
Yeah.
Mhm. There was the core. The core were there for at least a year and a half, and then it started. You guys would have the random guys from other countries, Knife and
Him Chan.
Him Chan would, you know,
Him Chan.
that was a crazy in itself. But No, yeah, I think he's right. The core four weren't there for that much longer because then someone, I think you would leave, and then like I think remember Congo was there for a little bit, and then Vinny left, and then
Antonio really held the torch for a while.
Yeah,
And
Antonio stayed in that room.
that was his thing for
majority of the
sure.
time.
by the time I started coming around, it was too late.
And then Penrose moved in, and then that was
I think
wild in itself.
Joe and Penrose and
Justin,
And Justin, yeah.
Justin, his girlfriend. Yeah, there was a lot of different in and outs. It was cheap. I think it was like, I don't know, $300 or something.
Do you have a singular favorite memory from Fixie Factory times?
I mean, all of the cold clips were fucking awesome. That's not a single memory, but like that was just a really fun time because we would all just like, sleep till 1 and then go biking at like 9 p.m. until like 1 a.m. like any night. And that was fun. And we were like documenting it on like a flip cam.
Yeah.
And then, so that was cool that like exists, I feel like.
Those cult clips, that was my favorite series.
I mean, it was vlogging before I knew what vlogging was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I could have called those vlogs and
True.
it would have just been a vlog. Like I was just videoing what we were doing. I wasn't videoing an edit. Like all of those were made in like one night. Each one was usually made in like one go. Like,
Yeah.
That's all,
I feel like those
we were just
the songs also played such a big factor into the vibes of those too. Yeah, like you found some pretty like low key cool music to put on. I mean, to put onto everything kind of. You're actually like Wolf Drawn videos put me onto a lot of like music that I like now. Still,
I was doing the Music Mondays on my blog for a while. That was fun.
I was reading the blog.
Mm-hmm.
And you would, before you knew how to find spots, there was damn son, where'd you find this?
That was kind of a precursor to it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, precursor to what?
to loving spots.
During the Cold Clips era too, I feel like that was peak like NorCal SoCal beef times.
Well, the Fixie Factory was crazy. Like we were just funny, and we were like, that was like my probably like least serious era of like like I wasn't serious about biking then. Like I was biking seriously, but like I was not serious about it, and they were definitely taking it more serious than us, which was like sick, But we thought it was corny as fuck because we were just like, that's stupid, And like, I somehow kind of got the face of it all, but Corey like accidentally did most of the damage. Like he would go on like a lot of the beefs kind of started because of Corey like saying things, but like everyone just thought I would say it because I like would say things like that. So like if anything got said, it was just me saying it. So that was always funny. There was like like the big beef was like renaming the sport Fixed Free, and we were just clowning on that shit. So I think we didn't care, like like at all.
Yeah.
Like we didn't actually care if they called it Fixed Free or not. I think we were like, oh, this is like funny.
Yeah.
It was like,
you guys were just big old trolls.
And then, well, some reason, like I think it was like, I think Matt Ray thought it was funny or something because Matt Ray just kept giving us like access to the Fixed Free admin. We were admins on the page.
Oh my!
And like, and I think Matt Ray like was like the main one, so like no one else could take us off. So we were like adminning.
That's so sick.
Like we were like in it.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Didn't you guys hijack it at some point or something?
I think so. Yeah. I think we like found out a way to like somehow probably like maybe Antonio did or something.
Fuck, that's so
my
funny.
God,
I remember there's a famous clip of the waterboarding scene.
Oh yeah, Chris. We waterboarded Chris.
Are you gonna ride fix free? No. What? We'll do this till you die.
That's still on YouTube. So
How did you get him to agree to that? You're just like, hey, Chris, let me waterboard you.
It was like, are you gonna ride fix free?
no, never. We were like actually waterboarding him. It was pretty good.
That's so sick. Real torture.
Man.
And then one super character, like wolf drawn characteristic thing that I loved and I think was maybe underappreciated was your B-roll edits.
Oh, those ones were
yeah,
fun.
the best.
You got insane with the edits on that shit. How'd you get so
I feel like
when'd you get into that editing? And
I feel like making those like is what eventually made me good at editing, because like I was just doing everything possible like on Final Cut Pro, like, you know.
yeah, you're just like trying to break it.
Yeah, I was like it was more like making a music video than a bike edit, which was fun to me, you know.
Yeah.
Those were definitely funny edits.
Like the one that always stuck out in my mind was like I swear you turned like clarity or sharpness up to like 1,000 on Corey's face. And just every single detail in his face was visible and it looked insane.
And like especially like that era, because like the 7D was like top the fucking line. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that 720p was really crisp.
Yeah, at some point you went from like 70, 1080, like 30 frames per second to 70, 720, 60 frames per second, right? Because
I'm a 60. I've been a 60 pretty much. Once I went 60 frames, I was like, I don't think I knew what the difference was like when I first started shooting it. And you know, doing like ramp slow-mo just looks great.
Yeah.
60 second.
So, and even now, you still like export everything at 60
Yeah,
frames.
everything's
Huh?
exported 60. I think back then, like, I don't even think YouTube or nothing like used it, so I was probably exporting 30. But like now, big fan of 60. Like, I'm not making a movie. I'm making a bicycle.
Right.
You know, like I want to see it.
And you also still use that 7D, right?
For photos, yeah. Every photo, the 7D is still ticking.
Damn.
Speaking of edits, speaking of funny things, do you have a favorite edit that wasn't one that you made? Like, what is your peak FGFS edit that's one that you didn't make?
Or maybe DVD.
DVD too. DVD works.
No.
No.
Probably,
Yeah, too.
honestly, every art that like Soil put out was like, it was cool because like I wasn't really trying to do the tricks they were like. I didn't really want to do the tricks that Soil was gonna do. First of all, they're fucking crazy.
Right.
But it was like the first person that I was really like experimenting with like scary shit, and
Pegless.
not even like I didn't really care about Pegless then. Like it was cool, but like scary and technical, like kind of like creative at the same time. Like, you know, Tom was great, but his wasn't really like creative. It was more just like fucking burly, you know? And then you definitely had like a lot of people because of like the like, you know, doing like fixie tricks into fixed gear freestyle, like very like creativeness was there, but like those guys weren't doing the scary thing. So like I feel like Tori was like the first person to like really do the both like good, and that was like my favorite part.
As a spectator of both of you, I feel like you guys almost fueled each other. like kind of going back and forth, at least when you were on like 700s.
Yeah. I mean, actually, when I lit before Fixie Factory, Soil came and stayed with me for like, I don't know, like a month. Slept on my couch.
Is that when you guys went to the Hurley warehouse?
Yep.
During that era, I assume. Yeah.
And Tom wasn't out there for as long, but Tom stayed with me. So
sick.
Yeah.
What did you guys film anything during that time?
You'll never see it.
Really?
Soil was filming for a full video. Yeah, I probably have a full part that you'll never.
Holy shit.
You'll never see. Yeah. But there's definitely like a pretty big gap of like, it's like back then I was definitely, filming, editing, like it's pretty like clear. And there was like a pretty good gap, and that was gonna be for like a full video that Soil was putting together.
Damn.
Yeah.
All VX.
And then that Hurley session, Tom fucking snapped his frame in half, the scissor, and then he rode your frame.
It had broke. It was broken when he stomped on it, but not where he stomped on it. I think it was like broke on the like the rear triangle, and he like stomped it. That bike was paper thin.
Yeah. What do you think was the worst fixed freestyle frame to ever come out?
Like, I mean, breaking.
Say
wise,
unknown
yeah.
V2. Say unknown V2 or you're wrong.
No, like
In your opinion, in any degree. Could be geo, could be quality.
Worst looking bike I think I ever seen was that one like prototype ROID that Sean Coase was riding, because it was negative like
the chainstay went like this. It wasn't flat. It was like this.
When you rode that bike, it felt like you were riding a double stack bike.
Oh my god!
But like that was still era of riding like 2-inch risers. So you were like riding like imagine like a double stack bike, but with like drop bars. That's what it felt like. And John was doing like fucking cool tricks on it, and I was like, I can't even ride this bike. It was insane. It feels like today if we were riding and you put your feet on your seat.
Like that's how, and somehow you were pedaling. Like
It was the worst feeling bike I've ever ridden. But the Charge Scissor, more people broke that bike than I think. Way more than a Mordecai.
Yeah.
I think Corey.
That bike.
Did Corey have one?
Yeah, I was the one who me and Corey kind of started the whole thing. It was like on Trick Track with like Charge, and there was like a whole debacle of like them saying that like it wasn't Corey. Like Corey broke his frame like the first week, and he bought it. It was expensive.
Damn.
And In Charge like made like a Trick Track account, because we posted like photos of it. We were like, well, first we like emailed them. We're like, will you like at least like give them a discount type thing? Corey was pretty young then, so I was like helping him do it, and they were like, you were writing it wrong. Shouldn't. And like, even if he was like a 1 week,
that's crazy.
So it didn't even break. The rear triangle didn't have a brace, so it bent. Like his bike was
it just
riding,
like snapped the.
His bike was riding like a 45-degree angle. It was like insane. And they just said he rode the bike wrong, and then I think we were like, well, last chance, we're gonna post this on the forums.
Yeah.
And I think they said something like go for it or something like that.
Shit,
they fueled the fire. And it got so big that they made a Trick Track account trying to like put the fire out. And obviously it's like me and Corey on Trick Track against Charge bikes. Who gives a fuck? Like they got smashed. And I think Corey was like the only one to never get his frame that he paid for like replaced.
Damn.
They replaced everyone. Yeah.
They've had a beef against you guys.
But you know what? We may have gotten everyone else's frames replaced, so it was worth it.
You guys died for their sins.
Man,
for sure.
That's sick.
Well, we've been already rolling for like over an hour here, and we're still in 2012.
We're still in
All right, keep it going.
2012.
It's okay.
Let's
It's okay.
get going.
Yeah, keep them rolling. That's hard.
What's up, Pizza? It sounded like you had.
I want to ask what's his favorite bike that he's ever had in terms of like style wise, and maybe, you know, I don't want to say sentimental value, because, you know, sentimental values you can do with anything, but what's like your favorite bike build that you've had in the past, from today's, you know, rough that you have now to all the way back to the Brassknuckle that you had?
I mean, the favorite 700C bike, Black Mordecai, all black everything. That bike was just hands down great. And like, I looked at a bunch of photos before we did this about like my 26s, and I for sure like my Glimmer now is my favorite bike. Like, I looked at the SKYLMT, and it looks, I thought it was like kind of cool then, but it looks not that great. I don't know. Like the Geo, it was kind of a long seat tube for what it should have been, I think. Because that was like my kind of like secondary. I was like, I did like that bike. It felt good. I don't think it looked as good as it felt though.
Dude, you had those crazy 2-piece bars on it at one point too. I think they were like Phoenix Protos or something. But it had like a really thin crossbar. Do you remember those?
Oh, I think I rode those like very shortly.
Yeah, it was only for a little bit. Those
I
bars
rode
looked
I rode
insane.
the one. Yeah.
Can we tell you our favorite?
Yeah.
I know my favorite right off the top of
I know
my head is
mine.
your slime bike.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say
Blood Mordecai.
Oh,
Blood Mordecai
that was
was
a
good.
good one too.
Blood Mordecai.
Oh, okay. Wait. Which one? Wait, is Blood the tampon one?
Probably.
Okay.
I didn't know that was the what it was being called, but yeah.
I didn't know that's what that was being called either.
I didn't know we called it that.
A tampon bike.
I
That's
think
what it
just
was.
Pizza Wing.
Damn, that's not
My
my
bad.
favorite bike anymore.
I mean, those were the two I custom painted. So
Also, though, that first version of the SKYLMT you had, raw, chrome, everything, I still base all of my bikes off of that color.
I think that was the only SKYLMT I had. I only had one frame.
You had a black one, or you may have painted it black, but
I think I painted it black. Yeah.
the all raw with chrome components version, that was a good looking bike.
Damn, I remember buying a Thrasher V2 because of you. Worst decision I ever made.
Yeah.
It's an awful bike.
It wasn't a good. It wasn't that great of a bike.
What happened? How was
Literally built it, rode it for a week, and took it apart because I was like, "This is not it. This is." I left my brake frame for this thing, and it was awful.
Yeah.
Did you know like what was happening with SKYLMT behind the scenes? Like what was riding for them like, and what happened?
Like kind of, but I also didn't really give a shit. You know, I wasn't getting paid. I didn't have a signature part. I was like, okay,
You just
I
got
a
the
free
frame.
It's pretty good, you know. Colby was like, you know, a guy in the scene. Obviously, like,
Frama.
you know, yeah, a legit guy. You know, like I heard the rumors, and you know, I heard it all. It didn't affect me, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bunch of dumb decisions by multiple people.
Yeah, I never
What's
really
your
got the full
opinion?
story.
I mean, I
What's
think
your-
like,
Oh, go for it.
oh, I think Brad like thought the company was going to be really good, and then made a bunch of frames that Colby didn't say to make, and then Brad was like, "You owe me for these frames that I made that you didn't say to make." This was the gist from it.
I see.
It's insane to do. It has nothing to do, you know, like you didn't order those frames.
How do you feel like? Okay, so we're gonna scoot ahead a little bit because we're hour 30
Yeah.
and we haven't even cracked 2012. How do you think FGFS? Like, I feel like you were the main head of riding fixed gear freestyle through what J-Ball and I consider the dark ages.
Right. That's what I was going to ask too.
It was
There's
like J-Ball was riding, you were riding, and that was kind of it. Like, you guys were the only people putting out anything.
In like, what are we? We're talking like
Post.
2000.
Post 2014.
So those ages weren't dark for me because
that's when I lived in Arizona, which I moved there just randomly. One day I was like, I'm done with LA. I knew Steven Jensen. I'd been out there once with Corey before, and or maybe twice. I'd been out there twice with Corey before, and I just packed up everything in my van and moved out there, slept on his couch for like a few days, and found an apartment. And then rent was so cheap. I think I was renting a 2-bedroom for $650
Jeez.
for myself. Yeah, in like a nice area in a okay apartment. And then Justin was like, Congo was like, I want to move out there. And he had just got done with his training, and I was like, fuck it, that's $325. I barely need a job. I don't need to do anything. Move out here. So he moved out there. So it was me and Justin and Steven, and Steven was like riding quite often. And then really shortly after then, Elliott started college at ASU, moved into the same complex as me. So me and Justin lived together. Elliott lived together, and then Ian moved in with Elliott. So there was 5 of us just like riding all the time. And then even for a short period, Schmidt lived out there for about 6 months. So it was like the dark ages were like not dark,
Non-existent.
Not for you guys.
The whole scene left
like,
where it was.
You guys were in a surplus.
Yeah, like especially like me and Elliott were like, I feel like that era of progression for me was actually like quite high. And Elliott was like just out of, unreal.
You were filming all of Elliott's bomb track parts at the time, and those were just insane. They were so next level.
Yeah, I was riding a hold fast for a while, which I was sponsored. They gave me the hold fast, and I rode that for a little bit. Ended up breaking it because it didn't have a down tube gusset, and it didn't break in half. I like looked one day and it was cracked.
Oh yeah.
And then I rammed it into a wall and it snapped in two.
I feel like there's a clip. I feel like there's a clip of that.
Yeah, there's a clip of it somewhere. I wasn't gonna ride it, so I was like, it's gonna be more fun to break it. I never broke a frame like that. So
do you remember when we were at Cal State LA for Stay Strapped and
Elliott's?
Oh yeah, Elliott's fork broke, and then you and Congo had the like tandem bike.
We made like a tandem bike or something. It was cool.
Yeah, we skipped over Stay Strapped, but we're gonna save Stay Strapped for the bonus episode here.
Perfect.
I wanna talk while we're in the main episode here about you just being a meme. Like,
100%.
you've managed to successfully meme yourself to the front page of Reddit like multiple times, very purposefully.
Yeah.
What was the first time that happened?
I'm not sure which one came first. They were like kind of around the same time. I was like making funny shit.
Was it the we in this shit?
Yeah. I think that was the one. And then the other one was like
You know my story, not my swag.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
You know my swag, not my story.
Yeah, that one.
Fuck.
I mean, like they were funny, but like I didn't think. It
was so.
I just vividly remember that day where I'm like I'm using Reddit and I'm just like scrolling down and it's just you and I'm like, why the fuck is Wolf Drawn on Reddit on a meme, like on a shit post?
that was a good time.
Were you a big Tumblr user?
Yeah, Tumblr, big Tumblr. I mean, like all my like early blogs were all Tumblr. Like even like the Wolf Drawn one before I went Blogspot.
Right. Are those blogs still around?
Yeah, you can go like wolfdrawn.blogspot.com.
Oh, nice.
I also I did Hammer Down. I don't know if you remember that.
Of course.
Like that was like the fix. Like I wanted because that was when John probably was being anti fixed gear freestyle, and we kind of were beefing about that. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make my own blog that's all freestyle shit. But it kind of like sputtered out because like that whole era kind of sputtered out, you know?
Yeah, it came right at, I feel like at the end of 2014 was when everything died, and Hammer Down like was born at the end.
Yeah, it was born at the end, and then I was just like pretty much posting my own stuff, like no one else's, because there was nothing else to post. And I was like, well, this is pointless. I'm just gonna post my own shit on my own thing, you know?
Yeah, it was a great idea, and I was stoked for it when it came out. And you also had that sick like clip of Elliott, the Hammer Down Elliott edit, which was like, that was a step up in skill wise. Like that came out, and we were like, oh, this is like at a new level now. He did the hang 5 fucking grind thing.
That's like, you shouldn't be able to do that on a fixed gear, you know? Like,
that was so sick. What's your favorite video you filmed of someone?
like Elliott's last edit I made. Like the very last one where he does the crazy crank arm and shit.
It was a very emotional edit.
It was emotional. Yeah. I like had a feeling Elliott was kind of getting out of fixed gear then. And I just like, I knew it was kind of like his last edit.
Yeah, we felt it.
It was also like, I mean, like it was so peaked that like, it was also, his level got so high. It was like, where is he going to go from here? You know? But I put a lot of time into that edit, like editing it, that one.
Yeah. It looked good.
So that was like, I don't know, like that was cool because that era, like, I mean, we were in Arizona, but like me and Elliott were just like really going hard, like all the fucking time. And that was like fun. And, like we were like, I feel like riding wise, like during that time, like me and Elliott were like on the same page. Like we wanted, you know, we were riding different shit, but like we both loved spots. We wanted to like go hard. It was good.
Yeah, you guys fueled each other.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and he was hungry for sure. Like he never needed like motivation, and I didn't either. So like us being in that same mindset made it like pretty successful.
Yeah.
How often were you guys riding when like you guys were making that project? It's like how we is now, like every other weekend and every weekend, or was it like you guys are?
We were riding like several times, like a week for sure.
Oh shit!
I didn't really have a job when I was like living in Arizona. Like I was doing like things here and there because my rent was so cheap. So, and he had school like maybe like twice a week. So that was it. Yeah. We were biking.
Yeah, you guys went hard. What a good era it was for us as spectators of Elliott.
That was my first time ever using a camcorder. So, because I was using Elliott's.
Was Big Fish on camcorder?
Yeah, I think that whole era, I was done using. I wasn't filming with the 7D anymore.
Yeah, you moved. You graduated.
Well, we were just he just had the nice fisheye, so we were just like filming with that. Yeah.
Elliott's camera looked sick.
Yeah.
What was it?
Like the resolution was low, like kind of outdated, but it looked amazing. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Good colors.
Yeah.
Love the Pantone colors.
It's we got to wrap up the main ep here. We finish every episode with a few staple questions. I'm sure the people will be curious here. I'm going to start with mine. If you had to create a Mount Rushmore for fixed gear, what 4 faces would you put on that mountain?
Okay. Sam Miller. Nasty.
Oh,
These are
Good
like
one.
first choice. These are like first people that haven't said these yet.
Jacob Ruff
yes.
and Soil. Like,
Yeah.
those are my 4.
That's so sick. That's a great 4.
Full pegless
They're people
list?
who like shaped like fixed gear for me for sure, and I think like for maybe like not many people who are like riding today don't know it, but like anybody that they were influenced were for sure influenced by them. So
Sam Miller was so ahead of his time.
yeah, it was fucking awesome. Like I've been to a lot of those spots he was riding, and there's no way I'm gonna do those things he was doing on a rickety, like
mossy track bike.
It's crazy. What is your favorite sandwich? I feel like I know the answer, but go ahead.
I mean, I go through my phases.
Yeah.
If I was gonna make one right now, I'm gonna do a caprese with prosciutto.
Ooh.
Like
Classy.
it's getting warm out. It's a perfect hot day sandwich. Like just too easy.
All right. I'm gonna add a new one to the list now. We just rode, all day sesh. Like the 8-hour sesh, the sun up to sundown sesh. What is the go-to post-ride recovery beverage?
Oh man. I think I need 2.
Okay. We'll give you 2.
I'm gonna have a yerb in one hand
Damn.
and a Bud Light in the other.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so tired, but I need both. So a yerb and a Bud Light,
Hell yeah.
At the same time.
the post-ride speedball.
All right. Matt, any last statements or shout outs before we continue this conversation in the Patreon?
I mean, shout out Jacob Ruff, I feel like without him, a lot of us, him and Kareem, a lot of us wouldn't still be fucking riding our bikes because we're all riding their shit. So, in Rough Bike Co., it's going nowhere. So we're bike.
Let's go.
Damn right.
Rough Biko, 100 years.
Yeah.
All right.
I can tell my knees don't work.
We just interviewed the most biking man on the planet. Thank you for being here, Matt. Thanks for listening, you, the viewer. If you liked it, give us a comment, a subscribe. Maybe check out the Patreon so you can listen to us talk about Stay Strapped and all sorts of other antics. Maybe some cold
All right,
beer.
Matt, to send us to Patreon. Who's your least favorite person in FGFS?
Oh.